Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Get this thing kicked off. First things first, please make sure you send in your money. Need to make sure that's done, and it gets to me no later than Thursday. If you have any questions, email me, let me know, text me, and we'll make it happen. Next, trades for the week. There were 3 trades that have been done since the video came out last week. First trade that happened was for Go Panthers and Halfway Crooks. First saw this trade and thought maybe somebody hacked Chad's computer. I wasn't sure. A potential first-round draft pick in Chris Johnson for Robert Meacham made no sense. I'm still trying to make sense of it. Robert Meacham had 0 points this last week. Chris Johnson didn't do much better, but very interesting. Chad would elect to get rid of Robert Meacham or get rid of Chris Johnson when he didn't even play Robert Meacham. So very curious, Chad. I hope you're doing okay there. I don't know if maybe you were drunk, had a 6-pack or maybe a 12-pack that evening, but let me know. Next, what happened between Chilltown, Fearboner, myself, and Keith? I traded him Willis McGahee and Stephen Hill, or Sean Hill. Either way, they're worth about the same. For Miles Austin and Dexter McCluster, basically ended up being McGahee for Austin. Which ended up being Fearboner turned around and traded McGahee today, earlier this afternoon, for Antonio Gates, LA Rams' second best tight end. So if he can stay healthy, I think that could be a big trade for Fearboner. Could shore up his tight end spot, but time will tell. A few facts for you guys. No one has ever made the playoffs every single year. Few teams have made it a couple times, but nobody's made it every year, as well as nobody's ever won the championship twice. Kind of interesting, shows a competitive balance in the seasons. And then another interesting fact I thought was interesting, the team that had the least amount of points scored against them the last 3 years has always made the playoffs. So last year it was Rife, number one dad. 2010 was Halfway Crooks Jet, who ended up winning it. And then 2009 was Thoughts John, who made the playoffs as well. So that's kind of interesting, something to keep in mind. Maybe take a look and see if you have been fortunate enough to have the least amount of points scored against you. Take a look at the games this past week. I feel like a little bit more competitive than the first week, which is good. First game will go no particular order. Turd Birds versus Chuck Person. You can see Turd Birds is 2-0. Chuck Person's 1-1 now, and it was an ugly week for Chuck Person. Lost Hernandez for probably a month or so. So that's something he's going to have to take into account, as well as Turd Birds. Highest amount of points scored for the week. Just rolled right through the competition there, and the team looks very, very consistent. Has a chance to make the playoffs for the first time. So next is the blowout of the week between LA Rams and Max Wage. There's about 45 almost points in between this, and that was mainly CJ Spiller, who put up about almost 30. And really, kind of as a taunt, it looks like LA Rams didn't even play played Antonio Gates, who didn't even play. So I don't know how you want to take that Max Wage, but lost by 45 points almost, and he didn't even have one of his guys play. That's pretty sad. Max Wage kicking himself for not playing Eli, and the running backs on that team are not looking good, so might need to make a trade or something there. Something to think about. Fearboner and Lake Placid next. Fearboner dropping to 0-2 on the season. Lake Placid picking up his first win. Pretty close game, 7-point game. McGahee made it close there at the end. And, Fearboner's kind of banking on Ryan Matthews coming back. That's going to need to happen and quick. Overall, solid week for Lake Placid. Bo, some garbage points down the stretch, and Cruz had a very solid game as well. But Lake Placid needs a little help at tight end, it looks like there. Next, Go Panthers versus Sack of Hammers. Go Panthers with another win, going to 2-0. Sack of Hammers losing again, 0-2. Go Panthers wide receivers led the way, dominated. He even left Reggie Bush on the bench, who scored a crazy amount of points, as well as Robert Griffin III, RG3. Both of them on the bench and still won by 20 points. Would have won by about, I don't know, I think it was around maybe 35 or 40, if not more than that, if it weren't for benching those guys. Tritt Richardson finally did something there the second week for Sack of Hammers. That's encouraging. Overall, not a bad week for you, just a mediocre week. So hopefully you can get a win next week. You'll be playing against Max Wage, coming off a dismal performance. So next, myself versus Halfway Crooks. I'd be lying if I said it didn't feel really good to win this one, especially over Jet. I don't know if I could have picked anybody else really to beat, get my first win. So pretty pumped about that. A little bit nervous going into the last night, but luckily Peyton was not the Peyton of old, and Decker and Demarius Thomas value went pretty far down there. My boy Amendola with a clutch 20 points, as well as the Washington defense coming solid. Unfortunately, I lost Bradshaw, so we'll see what happens with him. Hopefully he can get healthy sooner. I'm kind of in trouble with running backs. Last game, Get Lucky versus Ibiza. Tony G saved the day, the game of the week. Get Lucky ends up coming back, first win. Not his first win, he's 2-0, but the first win of the season, coming from behind on a Monday night. Fitting, he came from behind Club Ibiza. So Club Ibiza really struggling. Played Donald Jones, negative 0.1 points, and could have played Avery, would have been the difference, would have won that, obviously kicking himself for that. So just a little preview for week 3. We got Chuck Person versus Lake Placid. I'm going to go with Chuck Person on that one to get back in winning form. Myself against Get Lucky. I do think Get Lucky has a better team. I'm beat up on my running backs. I think it's going to be the deciding factor there, as well as Max Wage versus Sack of Hammers. I'm banking on Sack of Hammers getting his first win. Pulling for you on that one. Go Panthers, Halfway Crooks. I think Jet's going to get his first win. Has some outstanding matchups there, and knock Chad off to drop him to 2-1. Club Ibiza against Fear Boner. I'm going to go with Fear Boner there. He needs his first win as well. And LA Rams against Turdbirds. I'm going to go with LA Rams in the game of the week. I think will be a less than 1 point predicted points there, separating them, the two best teams at this point in the league. At this pace, I don't see either of them missing the playoffs, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, hope you guys are doing well. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions for this, and we'll go from there. Hope you guys have a great week, and hopefully Mizzou can pull out a victory against those Cocks. Beat those Cocks.